My name is Rosita, and actually I've got a long history. My parents are from another country, so I was brought up Dutch and Austrian, but mostly Dutch speaking. My mum had bipolar, my sister had schizophrenic, my dad ended up having dementia and everything. So there's a lot of mental health that I got to actually learn. I was also a domestic violence survivor. I've had a lot of mental health myself. I'm in the Clancy, like I can't remember what your name is, but I'm very passionate by it. I don't understand why there's so many pressures of all different aspects. Because I had one question in my mind, is about housing. That I had an issue with, because for $10 short from my new start, because I'm a new start, I couldn't obtain even a 1-bedroom unit, right? Now I have to pay for my storage, and then on top of it, I have to pay for a room. When I'm 60, nearly 60 years old, I'm forced then to live with people. So I have depression and anxiety. My children, there is domestic violence there. I'm abused, and that's all because they've been taught. And then coming from that lady, it was on the TV the other night, where the Aboriginal men said, the women said, I don't want my husbands going to jail. And this is where I think the counselling come from. Everyone is an individual. Every situation is different. We have to stop. And if, there again, if the companies and the banks start paying their taxes, we can solve all aspects of all kinds of mental health, dentures. I'm thinking of dental care. Like, you might be, I'm petrified of the dentist. I'll pull my own teeth out, I have, because I am not going to have an injection. So it's all different aspects, and women and children and men, we all need to be, we're not taught, there's a different cultures and everything. So really the government needs to like have advocacy for every individual is a different answer. I actually became suicidal because of the employment agencies being pressured about getting employment and working. And if you're a mother and you're homeless and you think, where do you have to, I've had to let my dog go because I've had nowhere to live and been sleeping in a car, and I'm effing this and useless. And so, and even in my workforce, I cannot work because I'm bullied in the workplace. And I'm a good person, so no one is winning, and there's no one, I can't speak up, and there's a lot of people can't speak up, and the children, and it's men and women, both of them don't know where they feel safe. And housing, that was the main thing. That needs to be done now, because I'm thinking for $10 a week, I could not rent a home. Thank you.
Yeah, Rosita, you touched on several points, and each one of them is a valid point. The government should be listening to each one of those points. And this is the problem that I'll keep saying. The governments that we've had have not listened enough. And then when they have listened, they say, we're going to do something, but it's always next year or next election or after the next election. I know that the United Australia Party, the fact is, if we actually have the things in place to create the jobs, we have the ideas to create the jobs. If we start building more railways, all of a sudden we've created lots of jobs in every industry. If we start getting more people to produce all the products that we produce in Australia, if they're refined in Australia, then we've got the materials in Australia rather than have to buy them back. See, but this is creating jobs. Then the government gets money for tax and tax purposes and the royalties. From those royalties, the government will have a lot more money to do what they did in the 60s and 70s, where they built Elizabeth, where they built Christie's Beach, where they built housing trust homes, right? And that's what it's all about. So people will get cheaper homes. And the other people who get work, if we give you taxable income that you can claim on your tax of your home, you start paying the home loans, and that's tax deductible. That encourages young people to buy houses, or people without being able to buy them.
Afford to even get a...
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. See, but if we start doing this in Australia, the government will make more money. See, we've actually got plans. We've actually got plans so that the government makes more money. Most budgets are limited. No, they never have enough money. Look at the budget. Well, sorry, let me just say this, please. I'm not here to fight. No, listen. If the government had more money, would they provide you with a better income? Would you guys be on a poverty income? No, the government always complains that they never have money. With the United Australia Party, the United Australia Party has a policy to get more money so that we can provide these benefits.
From the company, from the rich.
At least we're giving it back to you.
Well, they're not. They're giving it back to, because they say, oh, we donate. It's all schemes.
There's enough money to buy a fleet of BMWs for the federal government.
Yeah.
I don't have much to add, but some of those basics that everyone needs, housing, food, health, education, they're what we should be making sure people have to have live adequately, to provide those things. And I'm all for the housing association, or friends in housing association places, and we need to be providing simple but livable places with somewhere to live, food, health and education.
We've got time for 2, possibly 3 more questions. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll hear from a member of the panel before we go back to questions. We've got time.
I was just going to say
3 more.
quickly too that if anyone wasn't comfortable with themselves being filmed, to just have a quick word with either myself or Sam over here, and we'll make sure that your footage isn't included.
I've been told I have to put up. This one is apparently we are in a situation in Australia where we can't afford to raise all welfare payments above the poverty line. So I've actually got a brilliant solution. We cut 25% off all the politicians' pensions. Woo! Yeah. And 10% from the wages of all sitting members. And then we'll have more than enough to go around. I'd like all your ideas on that.
Okay, I personally, as an individual, yep, because it is excessive, and I don't actually think politicians deserve more than someone who's worked in aged care for 50 years or whatever. Yeah. As a party, that's where we've budgeted to get the money, is to go after the tax bludgers, to be honest. We are going after, you know, your Rupert Murdochs and your Gina Rineharts.
Clive Palmer?
And we're not going to gift wrap taxpayer money and give it to Adani anymore. We're not going to, you know, just throw money at any corporation that wants to pretend it wants to trickle down, meaning pissing on workers, you know, and that's where we're going to get the money. But you know what? I could deal with getting a slightly smaller pay, personally. I'm personally willing to support that one.
Yeah, I think all the perks that politicians get are just a thing that ends up making them compromise. And I'm all for just being simple, a wage, cut down on all these perks and huge benefits, and yeah, I'll be quite happy with 10% less or more. I'm not running for the money.
You know, I agree with you guys, because the fact is, you should be paid for what you're worth. And a lot of these people, with all due respect, they're not worth what they're paid. Simple as that.